So, Disney seemingly hates disabled people, or at the very least loves money more than they do assisting disabled people in queues. Yeah, Disney's been hit with a class action lawsuit over disability access, basically. Hilarious. I mean, it's not funny, obviously, for the disabled people, but it's hilarious just how cynical all of this is. So, just as a really, really, really quick overview, and we're going to get into it, obviously, in more detail, but really quick overview. They had a service where if you can't queue, you get to skip the line, right? So, say if you're, I don't know, you've got one leg, right? You might have. You've got one leg. You've got other physical ailments, physical disabilities. Well, you can't do that now because it was costing them money. All right, you can't do that. Okay, you can't do that. They've now changed the criteria to narrow it down to things like autism. But not really anything else. It's the weirdest. I mean, obviously, it's a cynical cash grab. Like, that's clearly what this is. And they've been hit with a class action lawsuit around it, and it's heavily comical, but also pretty bad. I mean, that's really bad of them. But we're going to take a look at this. Please do hit subscribe if you're new here, and especially if you're a returning viewer that's not yet subscribed. I depend on you guys to help this channel grow and become something, and you guys are really responding and really helping. So if you could hit subscribe, I would really appreciate it. But this article I will leave linked down below. And yeah, we'll just get into it. So basically, they had this thing. They had a disability access service, right? And it was a system which was designed to assist guests with disabilities at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. The lawsuit itself, Malone versus Disney, was filed in Orange County, California, and it alleges that Disney, along with its contracted medical screening partner, Inspire Health Alliance, is engaging in discriminatory practices that violate multiple federal and state disability laws. So what is it? Or what was it? Anyway, so this DAS policy is now unlawfully restricting access to the service by limiting eligibility to guests with developmental disabilities such as autism. Of all the disability, like autism is obviously bad, right? But of all the things that you're going to narrow it down to, autism. There are so many more things that people can have ailment-wise and issues that would require them to need this service. It's very clearly just a cynical cash grab. Obviously. So the plaintiffs argue that this revised policy discriminates against individuals with physical disabilities. Yeah, obviously. It is amazing that when people hear Disney, aside from people that watch videos like this, it's amazing that when people hear Disney, they don't suddenly go, oof. Because the amount of evil shit this company has done is beyond the pale. I covered this last night on my podcast. And it was reminded, it was brought to my attention again. I was reminded of something that they did years ago. A little child had passed away, had died, right? It was a boy, I believe. And this boy's favourite comic character was Spider-Man. So the family put it on a headstone. Disney threatened to sue them for having Spider-Man on a gravestone. Do you remember when Disney... do you remember when Disney, one of their restaurants, someone died from eating something, allergies in their restaurants. So that the husband, partner of said individual that died, then sued Disney, and Disney were like, you can't sue us. You signed a contract with Disney Plus. What's that got to do with people dying from allergies, mate? When are people going to wake up to just how dodgy this company actually is? It's mental. This is just another one of them. So the lawsuit further claims that Disney has implemented unfair and coercive policies requiring guests to disclose private medical information in non-confidential settings. Apparently they give you like a 45-minute interrogation, and you're not, like, actual medical documents are like meaningless in this interrogation to see whether you fit the criteria or not. It's just this arbiter, this chap that comes around, or woman, that comes around and just goes yeah or no. It's just nonsense. Now that violates their privacy rights, and it also challenges Disney's requirement that disabled guests sign an allegedly deceptive and unenforceable class action waiver before they can even be considered for disability access service accommodations. I mean, this is mental, isn't it? So what is it, right? Disney introduced sweeping changes to its DAS program in 2024, citing concerns over excessive use of the service. Oh, there you go. Again, cynical cash grab. This rather conveniently came right around the time that Disney rolled out Genie Plus, its paid FastPass system. FastPass was once included in the price of Disney Parks tickets. So the new policy significantly limits disability access eligibility to guests who, due to a developmental disability like autism or similar, are unable to wait in a conventional queue for an extended period of time. That's their new one. Before, it was available to a broader range of disabled guests, including those with mobility impairments, like it probably should, chronic pain conditions, and other physical disabilities that made prolonged waiting in line difficult. I mean, look, yeah, autism, I'm guessing it's awful, right? But very clearly, very, very, very clearly, there are a great amount of other things that people, you know, could have that would prevent them from standing in a queue. I mean, this is the most evil. It's not the most, obviously, I'm exaggerating here. But this is one of the most evil, cynical cash grabs I've seen for quite a while. And the last one was probably Disney anyway. What a bizarre thing to do. So they're being sued, obviously. Massive class action lawsuit against them. The lawsuit alleges that this shift is not only exclusionary but also illegal, as the ADA and UNRWA Act prohibit businesses from imposing eligibility criteria that screen out or tend to screen out an individual with a disability unless such criteria are necessary for the provision of the goods, services, facilities, privileges, advantages or accommodations. So plaintiffs contend that Disney's restrictions of DAS to those with developmental disabilities is arbitrary and not legally justifiable. Yeah, it's massively arbitrary. It's literally there just to make money. What bunch of absolute scum. So weird. So weird. So the complaint also takes issue with how Disney and Inspire Health Alliance conduct the eligibility screenings. Plaintiffs claim that disabled guests were forced to publicly disclose sensitive medical information in front of Disney cast members and other guests. I mean, what is going on? Rather than allowing in-person DAS registration, Disney now requires Walt Disney World guests to apply through a live video chat with a cast member. Disneyland guests have the option of online registration, but are still encouraged to use the same method. The lawsuit alleges that these processes fail to protect guests' privacy and create unnecessary hurdles for disabled individuals. This is mental. Like, actually mental. What an awful company. So they hate disabled people, I guess. Thoughts down below.